Let's talk about the original Attack on Titan ending. When Isayama first started out as a mangaka, he wasn't aware of the success Attack on Titan was going to achieve. So he had initially planned to cut the series very short at first, around the time season 3 was concluding. And the ending that was originally planned is very dark and controversial. So basically, Isayama is a very big fan of the Stephen King film The Mist. For those of you that aren't familiar with Stephen King, he's notorious for making some of the best horror movies of all time. Like It, shout out that boy Pennywise, and my personal favorite, The Shining. Isayama stated in a 2017 interview that he had originally planned for the Attack on Titan ending to be very similar to The Mist. So let's talk about The Mist real quick to get some insight on this film. The Mist is a movie about a governmental experiment gone wrong, where a portal from an outside dimension opens up in the human world. And as you can imagine, aliens and deadly creatures take over Earth. The majority of the movie takes place inside a supermarket, where a bunch of locals are trapped together trying to survive. And as soon as any one of them gets ballsy and tries to leave the store, they get killed by the creatures in the mist. That sounds pretty damn similar to the situation on Paradise Island. As you can imagine, as the days go on, the people start to lose their mind as they're sitting helplessly in the store. They start turning on each other, and eventually it becomes more dangerous to be stuck inside the store than to test your luck and try to escape the monsters in the mist. The main theme of this story is meant to portray how humans are bound to react during supernatural events. And that corresponds with the original Attack on Titan theme too. At first, we all thought it was humanity versus Titans, and later on in the story we find out it's humanity versus humanity. Near the end of the movie, the protagonist David, his son, two elderly people, and a beautiful little honey decide to leave the chaos in the supermarket and make a run for David's car. At this point, they're helpless, and their goal was to drive off as far as they can until David's car runs out of fuel. They're putting all their hope that the mist clears by the time David's car runs out of gas. As their plan seems to be going pretty good in the beginning, the mist never halts and they eventually run out of gas. And this big ass beast was just a mile away from them. This is the equivalent to a colossal titan. So David only has a revolver that has 4 bullets, but there's 5 individuals in that car. So he kills everyone, including his son, hoping to give them a peaceful death and starts screaming in agony right after. He steps out the car, facing his defeat and waiting for a monster to swoop him up. Then David notices the mist starts to clear. He's being approached by tanks, soldiers, and civilians that were rescued. So the other side of humanity outside of David's town was fighting the mist. If David had literally waited 1 more minute, he wouldn't have had to kill his son or the others. Shit is tragic. So we all know how Armin is the narrator of Attack on Titan, right? This one, the correlation of Attack on Titan and the Mist comes full circle. Initially, it was planned that after the survey corps had reached the sea and discovered Marley's location, it all took a quick dark turn with Marley ambushing the main cast, leaving them defenseless and near death. But the only one that could put up a fight was Armin. Since the Colossal Titan is the only Titan shifter that could handle a Marley ambush, Eren didn't have the founding Titan at the time. Since Armin is the last one standing, he puts all of his friends out of their misery. I fully believe this was Isayama's initial intent for Attack on Titan's ending. If we reflect back on the second Attack on Titan opening, there's so much symbolism. When Eren discovers what freedom means,